Due to the coronavirus lockdown, there has been a lot of tension and uncertainty regarding the future and what's going to happen when all of this is over.
There's a mental health crisis that's brewing in India right now. With the current coronavirus pandemic around the world and the lockdown in India, many Indians are worried that their time in isolation will lead to feelings of depression, uncertainty, worry, stress, and anxiety.
For a person like me who is a mental health patient and has to depend on medicines, this basically means that I will have to face anxiety-provoking uncertainties without having any essential support system. For me, who is prescribed high dosages for anxiety and depression, it is extremely difficult during the lockdown to get my hands upon supplies of medicines in any chemist shop, since these medicines are scheduled medicines and therefore need a prescription and is not available normally in any chemist shop and can only be available on being ordered. And what that basically means that during the lockdown, I will have to go without medicines, which creates extreme pressure because not only does isolating oneself inside the home and isolating oneself from any other support systems take a toll on mental health, but also the fact that I have to go without medicines. And for somebody who has insomnia and depression and anxiety, this basically means that I will be at the mercy of my mental health and its deterioration during the lockdown.
So many manically productive and positive people out there. If you open up social media, most of what you're going to see over there is people spending every minute of their day doing something awesome or being really positive about things. And the thing is, it's really nice that people are trying to do their best and make the most of their time at home. But this kind of positivity can be really toxic when it disregards the reality of what's happening out there and holding people accountable for it. And that there are some people out there that are struggling. To see people do things all the time can make you feel inadequate about how you are spending your day. It's completely okay to sleep in the whole day, and it's completely okay to just spend your time watching TV shows and binge watching movies the whole day. That's productive too.
For a student like me, while we were preparing for entrance exams, the lockdown has even more created an atmosphere of fear and insecurity around these questions, and it is an even bigger challenge for somebody who is a mental health patient to deal with all of these questions alone without essential support system.
Fortunately, it's 2020 and mental health problems are both seen and heard, and there's help available. Many counselors and mental health professionals have moved their practice online and are offering online therapy sessions so that they're more accessible. Many have even started online group therapy and healing spaces and even pro bono classes just so that they reach more people because they're anticipating the growing number of mental health cases coming up. I speak to Henna Fakhruddin, a trauma-based psychotherapist in Delhi, to explain what we might be expecting in terms of mental health cases during this lockdown.
Also that this is a really unprecedented situation. These, in many ways, are very truly extraordinary times. Because they're so extraordinary, a lot of people are experiencing difficulty in sort of making sense of how do we respond to these things. So there's a lot of people with already existing conditions who have now felt that not having a routine anymore, not having a schedule, like a predictable schedule, has made life extremely difficult to manage. Who have said, dress like you're dressing for work at home, like don't sit in your pajamas, right? So that'll put you in the mood for work. And it does help a lot of people. In fact, it does help because it's the markers of work life. right? And so when we adhere to those things, it helps us feel a lot more settled, which is also why a lot of people have said, have a routine, have a schedule, plan it out. The thing is, though, there's quite a lot of people who have said, like, I tried holding on to a routine, like I tried doing a schedule for this particular time, and it gave me even more anxiety because I couldn't keep to it. It is a very real instance of what I would call collective trauma. This is like trauma on a global scale.
The specific issues that people have in isolation, maybe that are different from, maybe the regular stresses that you have in your day-to-day life.
There's a lot of, feeling of loneliness. There's still a feeling of like, what do I do with myself all day? Even if when they're working from home, the feeling still is sort of just like nothing is ending. Like I've heard, and for many people, the therapy room, like coming to therapy was that escape. And now that's been taken away. So now the question is, how are we as professionals going to bridge that gap for them? So that's also part of, and this is all really new. Like in the Indian context, a lot of this is really still very new. So it is a bit of trial and error for a lot of people, even therapists who've never probably worked online before. Yeah, there's like anxiety all around. Everyone's feeling it. My first step is limit your intake. Limit your intake and moderate how much news you consume, because a lot of that also contributes to these feelings of anxiety, of helplessness. Look up reliable websites and only go to those. Everything is a fine balance. Like, to be honest, everything in moderation really, really is the key for right now. So not be productive like 24/7, but also it does help to have something of a schedule, right? So, and it's also really person specific. Think about it in terms of, when do you feel most energetic in the day? There's a reason we use terms like early bird and night owl, right? Because those refer to certain points of the day where different people have different energy levels. Then that's perfectly fine. Everyone is different. If you already know where your energy level lies during the day, aim to have analytic work. So for example, writing stuff, creating stuff, plan those around those times. The plan is to plot your day, like even just do it over 2 days, you'll have a really good idea of where your energy levels usually are at.
The responses of anger and fear and frustration are natural ones, and it's important to recognize and befriend our feelings and have access to mental health resources online if need be.